why don't we get into my analytics-based approach here, some quarterback grades, Carson Wentz and Lamar Jackson. And for my grading system, well, hold on. Before we talk about that, I just wanted to kind of speak my piece on the Philadelphia Eagles a little bit, man, from what I saw. From a Ravens fan's perspective, what do we see from the Philadelphia Eagles? I think they're the best team in the NFC East. I think that their record is very it doesn't really say who they are. I think that the Eagles, for all the injuries that they're dealing with, their offensive line is decimated. They only had their starting center going up against us. They had no receivers. All their receivers are injured. They're dealing with so many injuries on that team. And for them to come out and really, give us a game, give us a ball game, that tells me a lot. And the Cowboys, I've seen a lot of Cowboys games. I like watching the Cowboys play because they make games entertaining. Now, obviously, it sucks that Dak is gone. That's a whole other topic. I think the Eagles are better than the Cowboys, just from what I've seen, the way that they're playing. If Wentz can continue to play at the level he has, because he has this mentality of like, F you, I want to win this game. And he showed us that, yesterday, because if it was any other team, I guarantee you, it was 24-6. No, it was 27. I think it was 24-6 at the end of the third quarter going into the fourth quarter, man. Any other team would have just taken that. They would have lied down and they would have said, yeah, the Ravens are clearly the better team. Let's just lie down. Let's get out of this game, and move on to next week. But not the Eagles, not Carson Wentz. No, Carson Wentz is like, you know what? We have nothing to lose in this game. Let's go out there and let's try to win this damn game, right? So that was interesting to watch. I think the Eagles are the best team in the NFC East. But now let's get a little more analytical here. So basing off my grades that I used in the Lamar Jackson video, I wanted to talk about why I believe that Lamar Jackson did outplay Carson Wentz. Now here is the grading system. This is just like the basic breakdown here. 90 through 100, think of it as a school grading system. 90 through 100 is an A, 80 through 89 is a B, 70 through 79 is a C, 50 through 69 will be a D, and then anything below that will be an F. So that's the basic. Let's go into a little more detailed breakdown here. The way this works, the way that, again, this is a grading system that I invented. I don't know if other people use a similar type of system. I'm sure PFF uses something similar to this, and maybe I just waste my time and I invented a whole grading system for no reason. But anyway, every quarterback starts off the game with 30 points, right? The way that they're able to raise their grade is +1 point for a first down, +6 for a touchdown, +2 for a 2-point conversion. It's similar to fantasy points, right? +1 for every 10 yards, and +3 for any drive that ends in a field goal. And another thing that changed is that instead of +1 for accurate drop passes, I decided to change it to +1 for catchable balls. So that means if a ball hits the receiver in the hands, I count that as a catchable ball. Now, there's times that it's a little overthrown, but if it hits you in the hands, in my opinion, you have to make that catch. So we've changed accurate drop passes to catchable balls thrown. So a quarterback will get 1 point for every catchable ball thrown. A quarterback can also lose points. -2 for every interception, fumble, or safety. Now, this is only if it's the quarterback's fault. Because think of interceptions. Sometimes they're swatted in the air, or sometimes it's a perfect throw and the receiver just throws it up in the air and then it's picked off. That's not counted as an interception in my system. Same thing with forced fumbles. If it's the quarterback's fault, if it's the offensive line's fault, say they don't block for 4 seconds and they're in the process of releasing the ball, it's kind of like the tuck rule thing, right? If that's the case, then I don't count it as a fumble. Safety as well has to be the quarterback's fault. -6 for every pick six and -6 for every fumble touchdown. Fumble recovered for a touchdown. And finally, -1 for inaccurate, incomplete passes. So if it's an inaccurate pass but it's still caught, that still counts as a point. But if it's inaccurate and it falls to the floor, you lose a point as a quarterback. -2 for sacks taken after 4 seconds. Before 4 seconds, it's attributed to either the offensive line or the receivers. And finally, -2 for dropped Interceptions. Every drop pick will be -2 points. So that's the way the grading system works. All that being said, let's get to the actual breakdown here. Opening up the notepad here. So this is just a very basic breakdown that I have. I actually have a full detailed breakdown of pretty much every single snap of this game in my other notepad, but this is just for the stream. I don't want to overwhelm you guys with too much information here. So here's why I say that Lamar Jackson outplayed Carson Wentz. Lamar Jackson was much more consistent throughout the game. He was much more consistent throughout the game. Carson Wentz had a phenomenal fourth quarter. It was incredible, right? I mean, he put up so many points. He scored 3 touchdowns. And, you know, you could argue that he probably should have scored more because there were a lot of drop passes. But again, this isn't the NFL. This is the NFL. So we just say what happened, and that's the way that we grade using my grading system. So in the first quarter, Lamar Jackson totally outplayed Carson Wentz. Lamar Jackson himself, again, and something I forgot to mention is that we don't account for yards after the catch. We don't account for penalty yardage. We don't account for, there's other things. Let me bring it up here. Sorry. My apologies. So yards after the catch are not counted in my grading system. Keep that in mind. Here we go. So, like I said, yards after the catch, penalties, drops, and swats at the line, and throwaways as well. So all of those are thrown out. They don't count. It's like the play didn't even happen. That's the way that it works in my grading system. And again, I'm still, working on this, and I'm obviously willing to change things as we move on. But yeah, so yards after the catch don't count. Just whatever the quarterback actually throws, even if it's a 1-yard catch that goes for 99 yards because the receiver himself took it that way, it doesn't count. It's only a 1-yard pass. That's the way it works. That's the way the grading system works. So Lamar, because this is the way that we boil it down to what does the quarterback actually do himself? What did he do himself to win the game for his team? Okay, so just want to put that out there. Lamar Jackson in the first quarter, he accounted for 38 yards, 1 touchdown pass, 3 first downs, and 2 catchable passes that were not completed. That comes out to a plus 14.8 to his overall grade. As for Carson Wentz's first quarter, he accounted for 14 yards, 2 catchable passes that were not completed, 1 fumble lost, and 1 inaccurate pass. So that only gives him a plus 0.4 to his overall grade. So Lamar Jackson clearly had the better first quarter because Wentz just could not get anything going. So again, outplayed him in the first quarter. Second quarter for Lamar Jackson, he accounted for 25 yards, 2 first downs, 1 field goal drive, 2 catchable passes that were not complete, and 1 inaccurate pass. So that gives him a plus 8.5 to his overall grade. Wasn't a great quarter for Lamar, but it was solid. And as for Carson Wentz's second quarter, again, got outplayed by Lamar in the second quarter here. Carson Wentz accounted for 33 yards, 2 first downs, 1 field goal drive, 2 catchable balls that were not caught, 1 sack taken, and 1 dropped interception. So another thing that I forgot to mention is that implied yards and implied touchdowns are not counted, but quarterbacks are still given a point for the drop, okay? Because we saw Wentz throw like 2 touchdown passes that probably should have been caught, but they're not going to be counted as touchdown passes because they weren't. It doesn't count on the scoreboard. It's all about the numbers. What do the numbers say, right? So, but you are starting to see a little bit of a pattern here. He already has in the first half 4 catchable passes that were dropped for Carson Wentz. So that does need to be brought up. But Lamar Jackson had a better second quarter, and overall he had a better game in the first half, as Lamar Jackson accounted for 63 total yards, 1 touchdown, 5 first downs, 1 field goal drive, 4 catchable passes that were incomplete, and 1 inaccurate pass, which gives him a plus 23.3 to his overall grade. Whereas Carson Wentz in the first half, it wasn't as good. 47 yards, 2 first downs, 1 field goal drive, 4 catchable passes that were incomplete. So as much as you want to say that Wentz had so many drops and blah, blah, blah. He had the same amount of incomplete catchable passes as Lamar Jackson did. I just want to put that out there. So, granted, some of them, were touchdown passes, but still they go down as a drop or they go down as an incompletion. So, but it still counts as a point for them. One inaccurate pass, same as Lamar. However, Wentz did take one sack himself that was on him. He also lost a fumble that was on him, and he had a pick dropped. So that comes out to plus 6.7 in the first half versus Lamar Jackson plus 23.3. So, you can say if certain things would have gone Wentz's way or Carson Wentz's way or the Eagles' way, he would have had better grades. And yeah, you're probably right. But the fact of the matter is, I broke it down myself, and Lamar Jackson had the better first half. It's plain and simple. And let's not forget, going into halftime, it was 17-0. The Eagles were just not able to put up anything. They hardly got any yards going until the very end of the second quarter. So let's move into after halftime. In the third quarter, Lamar Jackson, his fourth quarter was his best quarter there, but the third quarter was also very solid for Lamar. 77 yards put up, 1 touchdown, 4 first downs, 1 catchable pass that was incomplete, and 2 sacks taken. So you're starting to see Lamar hold on to the ball a little bit as much as you don't like to see, but he still had a solid third quarter. As for Carson Wentz, he started to come alive a little bit, but it still isn't until the fourth quarter. That's when he really woke up. Carson Wentz put up 48 yards, 2 first downs, and 1 catchable pass that was incomplete. That gives him a plus 7.8. So, again, Lamar Jackson had a better third quarter. However, the fourth quarter is really where it changed, because in the fourth quarter, yes, Lamar Jackson did have his best quarter in that Eagles game out of all of them, but Carson Wentz's fourth quarter was just phenomenal, right? I mean, like I said, he came in and said, screw you, we have nothing to lose. We're going to come in and score points and try to win this game. So, but for Lamar Jackson, he still put up 62 yards, 2 field goal drives, and 3 first downs, which was good enough to get the win there. They put up 30 points. So no touchdowns, but the 2 field goal drives were key to winning this game, because if those didn't happen, the Ravens lose. So Lamar Jackson put his team in a position to win that game. You see plus 15.2 to his overall grade. As for Carson Wentz's fourth quarter, this is really when he just came out and was slinging the ball. 124 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 2-point conversions, 5 first downs, 4 catchable passes that were incomplete. That's a lot in one quarter. 3 inaccurate passes, though, so let's not overlook that either, and 2 drop picks. So, you can look at those 4 catchable passes that were incomplete, but don't ignore the 2 drop picks either, because you're lying to yourself if you're just ignoring those, right? So you have to take everything into account. That's the point of the whole grading system. Regardless, Carson Wentz had a phenomenal fourth quarter, almost won the damn game for the Eagles, put up plus 36.4 to his overall grade. And like I said, Lamar only had plus 15.2, but it was good enough to get the win. As for Lamar Jackson's overall game, he put up 202 yards total, 2 touchdowns, 12 first downs, 3 field goal drives, 5 catchable passes that were incomplete, 1 inaccurate pass the whole game. I only counted 1 inaccurate pass. Everything else I deemed catchable. If you want to break it down yourself, feel free to. 2 sacks taken. So overall, that gives Lamar Jackson a plus 53.2 to his overall grade, which comes out to an 83.2, which is a solid B minus, almost just a B, right? Now let's look at Carson Wentz. Overall, Carson Wentz, and most of this came in the fourth quarter, like I said, 219 yards, 3 touchdowns, all 3 came in the fourth quarter, 2 2-point conversions, again, all in the fourth quarter, 1 field goal drive, 9 first downs, 9 catchable passes that were incomplete. 9, that's a lot. That is a lot. Us Ravens fans, we thought that we had drop problems, but the Eagles, my goodness. 9 catchable passes that were incomplete. 4 inaccurate passes, though. Let's not overlook these. Again, 1 sack taken. He got sacked like I think 5 or 6 times, but I only deemed one of those sacks to be on Carson Wentz. 1 fumble lost and 3 drop picks. Overall, overall, that comes out to plus 50.9 to his overall grade, which, you know, after a stellar fourth quarter, that actually gave him a B- grade because he did put his team in a position to win the game. He just came up just short. So Carson Wentz had a good game. He had an 80.9 grade, which is a B-. I mean, considering how bad he played in the first half, for him to come out, especially in the fourth quarter, and to, really show some moxie there. But Lamar Jackson, like I said, had the better overall grade, 83.2 versus 80.9. So that's the breakdown, man. That's the reason that I say that Lamar Jackson outplayed Carson Wentz on Sunday, because Lamar Jackson was more consistent throughout the game. He made more plays in order for his team to win the game. At least that's the way that I deemed it with my grading system. So, but Carson Wentz, man, he's good. And like I said, if the Eagles can get fully healthy, I do believe that they are the best team in the NFC East. So, yeah, that's I think that's going to go ahead and do it, guys. That's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you're watching the replay on YouTube, it's going to be up on Tuesday. I'm currently recording it here on Sportscaster on Monday, October 19th. I'm hoping to have the recording up on Tuesday, October 20th on YouTube. Please feel free to leave a comment down below. Hit that like button, share this with your friends, subscribe, all that good stuff that you guys know what to do. If you're a sportscaster, thank you to those. If you said, yeah, I see a couple donations here and there. Well, some tips. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. Also hit that favorite button, that like button, create a profile so you're able to see my streams whenever I go live. And that's pretty much going to do it, guys. So thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys are listening in the audio version, thank you so much. And I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I'll see you in the next one. Later.